Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Chatter Squadron, your weekly dose of Star Wars fun and positivity. My name is Tyler Bucks.
And my name is Logan Hansaker. What is up, you rebel scum?
Well, we have a lot of things up, as you see on the screen. We're going to be talking about Clone Wars and Ewoks. Classic cartoons are coming to Disney+. Also, we're going to be addressing a very serious thing that's come up in the community, and we're kind of getting a little rumory today.
Yeah, a little rumory
as
with
well.
Some casting.
The casting, yeah. Sometimes we like to talk about rumors. It makes it a little bit more fun. Like I said, we're going to be talking about a serious issue. Obviously, a lot of stuff is happening in our country when it comes to the Asian community. So I wanted to put a lot of thoughts into that and how it relates to us as a show and as a, like I said, a community.
Right.
So I wrote a little statement, which I'll read in a little bit here. And I actually had help from my partner, who is Asian as well. So it was great to have somebody have a good insight into, what means the most during this time of strife for that community. And we're also, I guess, playing a drinking game. How many times can I say community? We will see. But before we get to that, we have a little bit of housekeeping to do. So Logan, tell them about the art that they can win.
Per usual, we are giving away art from Acme Archives Direct. You can win it by commenting in on any of our videos that we release. And this month's art is The Dark Side by artist Vance Kelly. I will put, you got it up there. I will put it over here.
Put it over there.
Certificate of authenticity, Lucasfilm licensed. You cannot see this, but it's just to know that you'll get this with your art. So yeah, comment on any of our videos this month, and you will be entered in for a chance to win The Dark Side by Vance Kelly.
And speaking of winning, we always like to show evidence that winning actually does happen. And
we do give this away.
There you go. You have last month's winner, Aunt Vesuvi. Actually, I think 2 months ago, winner Aunt Vesuvi, and that's her with Redemption. So proof that if you comment in, you will win. And of course, this lovely picture of Kevin Toft with his art as well. So let's get into the episode. Like we said, we're going to be covering a lot of things. But before we get to the serious part, we have a new Tiny King / Queen of the Tiny Chair of Tiny Victories, which is right behind my head.
Right there.
Logan,
next to the Stormtrooper.
Tell them how she won and who she is.
So our Tiny King / Queen is Hey It's B from Instagram. And like we said last week, you can become the Tiny King / Queen on our set by following us on Instagram. And when we said it last week, it was to help us get to 1,000 followers, which we hit.
We hit 1,000 followers, and it happened very quickly, actually. People took to the internet, asked us where our handles were
internet
and everything. Take to the internet. And so they jumped on, and that's Hey B was one of the people who not only jumped on. Hey, it's B. Jumped on and followed us, helping us get to 1,000. But she also checked out some of our streams.
Yeah, so we appreciate that.
We appreciate it greatly.
Now you're on our set
and
forever.
I'm saying this now. We're at 1,000. How about we get to 1,050?
Cool.
So if we get to 1,050, we'll put another person on the chair, which will be behind us. And yes, that is a tiny, as in TIE fighter.
TIE.
It's a TIE fighter with a throne on it.
If you want to dethrone Hey It's B, follow us on Instagram, and you might be on our set next week.
Right. Super exciting. You know what I mean? Not every day you follow somebody and become royalty.
Not every day you get to sit in a felt covered leopard print chair that's also like glued to a Lego TIE fighter.
Don't give away the magic. Don't give away the magic.
It's not every day you get to do that.
Not every day. So yeah, thank you for that. And I will say keep giving us a bunch of follows on all of our stuff and comment to win. Anyway, let's get down to, like I said, I wrote a statement about kind of what's going on in the, like I said, Asian community and the country at large, and why that kind of relates to us right now, because some stuff is happening where it's coming into the community, and I just felt it in my heart to write something down and kind of address it while this is still going on. So for people that might not know, in 2020 and 2021, hate crimes against the Asian community have increased by over 150%, according to a statistic by the University of California. Now, with a recent attack against an Asian business in Georgia, as well as a certain group online known as the Fandom Menace, making light of this issue, we feel that's time to speak up. Our motto has been fun and positivity for years. We want to be people's escape from the real world every week so that we can enjoy our favorite franchise together. However, a major part of being positive is fighting negativity. And I'll tell the truth, it's very hard to be positive right now because there are people out there that feed on division, feed off of people's hate and negativity to gain clicks and attention. Zack Snyder, who recently released the long-awaited Snyder Cut of Justice League, called out the fandom menace, saying that he wasn't affiliated with them, citing that he is a father of Asian children and it's time to stop spreading the hate. Then the fandom menace took to a live stream in which they commented that Zack calling them out wouldn't stop them from killing Chinese people, even saying, and I quote, #nuke China. We can't let this continue. I can't stand the idea of making people choose sides when it comes to Star Wars or any other media people enjoy. However, this isn't about a movie. It's not about the Star Wars community at large. It's about what's right, because I know this isn't right. I know this isn't fair. I know this has to stop. Recently, we even did an episode about the incredibly brave Kelly Marie Tran, who chose to leave the public eye due to bullying, a lot of which targeted her race. I've spent years working on this show and doing it in a way that spreads positivity. Unfortunately, I'm going to get real. Positivity doesn't get the same clicks that hate gets. There's hundreds of amazing creators out there right now that are making content that is geared towards making people's day better and not slamming people for a movie they like or don't like, not slamming people over an actor they disagree with or making them feel excluded for the color of their skin, their gender, their beliefs, their sexual orientation. The list goes on. Those creators need your help spreading their content, but they are overshadowed by the people who stir up negativity. We're taking a stand here. Let's build up the creators who love putting smiles on people's faces, who put the work in every day to spread acceptance and positivity, because right now, the people who do the opposite of that are getting the spotlight again. So let's outshine them. Build up the people of color in your life. Show them that they're accepted for who they are and that we all share in the love of Star Wars together and in the love of life together. Now, as two white guys on the internet, this may seem a little preachy, but I believe that it's our duty to use our privilege to better the world around us. It is our duty to look around the room and see who isn't there in order to open the door to let them come in. It's up to us to make room for the people that feel excluded. Make sure they feel welcomed and that they don't have to fight for the place they deserve. So to everyone listening or watching, this is a call to action. Spread positivity today, tomorrow, the next day, the next. Let's change this fandom. So join us on our social media accounts because we will be posting links to amazing creators every day to help build them up using the hashtag #PositiveSquad. Do the same, share your favorite creators so that others can click on that hashtag and learn about the positive creators in our community. So, like I said, I just wanted to get my thoughts out there. And to kind of wrap that up, it's super unfortunate that this happened in our country and it continues to happen.
Right.
And it's on the rise, right?
Yeah.
And for it to start coming into here and overshadowing people who are trying to spread positive content and be accepting, and people still want to talk about and fight about these things.
Yeah.
I just want people to use their energy for good right now, especially when there's so much real world strife going on. So like I said, hashtag #PositiveSquad, share somebody that you like, that you follow, whatever, on Twitter, Instagram, wherever you are. It will really, really, really help us out to be able to get those people out there into the world.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely, I know we've seen it all week, you and I, and discussing it. And it's important when you see things like that come across, especially on the internet, YouTube, report it when it needs, where it needs to be, and then action can be taken. But like we do say, don't, people that are just trolling and just trying to get a rise out of people, don't buy into that, because that's just,
that's what they want. They want to get a rise out of you.
Yeah.
They want you to, confront them.
Yeah.
And just like a bully, if you just ignore them, they might go away. And let's ignore them and spend time with our friends. Spend time with the stuff that we are super excited to spend time with.
And like you said, building people up, building creators up that are putting positivity out there in the world. So,
all right. So like that. Speaking of positivity, let's start pushing that positivity and talk about the original Star Wars Clone Wars, and a bunch of Ewok content is coming to Disney Plus. Logan, would you like to read a little bit about what's going on with this whole Ewok and Clone Wars smash of content coming to Disney Plus?
I would. So starting in April, specifically April 2nd, just so you know, it isn't a joke. Right. Putting anything out on April 1st, never a good idea.
And April 2nd kind of gets a little heat just because it's that close to it.
Right.
It's just
People,
adjacent.
They're still not sure
right.
if they should trust something on April 2nd. Like, it could just be a rollover from April Fool's.
Exactly.
But this is real. Disney Plus will begin streaming 1984's Caravan of Courage, an Ewok adventure, which we actually brought up on the show a few weeks ago.
Yep.
Which I haven't seen, so maybe I'll watch it.
Yeah, hashtag fake fans for us. We haven't seen those yet, but maybe we'll watch them and do a little thing about it.
Right. A little thing.
A little thing.
We like to be vague here on Chatter Squadron. Sequel Ewoks, The Battle of Endor, the 2-season animated series Star Wars Ewoks from 1985. The Nelvana-made TV series, followed by Wicket and Friends on Endor before the events of A New Hope.
Mm-hmm.
It has some of the greatest and worst theme songs ever.
Yeah, it really does have some of the greatest and worst theme songs ever. We did
Droids isn't bad.
We did last year. Mike Calhoun and we did an episode about Ewoks and the droids, because there was like a droid and Ewok power hour where both were shown back to back, and so we did a thing on it. And I've watched episodes of this, and it's crazy. It's like it's a whole nother world. It's barely Star Wars. It's kind of like Care Bears,
right?
But at the same time, the theme song kicks in, and I was like, this can't be the theme song. If you haven't heard the theme song, we don't have it loaded up because we don't want to get a strike on our content.
I don't think that would go too well. Right. Music is definitely
right.
Gets a little,
but it's here's a little demonstration. It goes, "We are the Ewoks, we're the people from the forest moon."
With that's the same energy.
The same energy, that low, and it's all in a minor key. It's not major, which is what a kid's show should be.
Yeah,
it's from the forest moon.
Right, and there's that I because when we were doing the notes for the show and everything this week, I actually started listening to it, and then we listened.
It was cool to watch his face as he was seeing some of this stuff.
I didn't think it was real. I was like, "There's no way that this is the theme song."
Yeah,
and I didn't even it took me. I probably listened to it. Well, then I listened to it a bunch, and then when it was stuck in my head for the next couple days, I was listening to it. It also it's like you don't even barely know what they're saying.
Yeah.
We are the
like everybody sounds very disinterested with what's going on.
But like I said, then you hear the droids one, and it's like upbeat, It's like
in trouble again.
Yeah. It's like I could get into this. Like this is good.
But so that's what you have to look forward to with Ewoks coming back. A big fan of just old Star Wars content. It's really, really cool. Another thing that's coming is Genndy wow. This is just
Tartakovsky.
Genndy Tartakovsky. There we go.
You didn't listen to me.
Chatter Squadron is known for three things: fun, positivity, and not knowing how to pronounce names. Beloved Star Wars Clone Wars animated shorts that predate the CG Clone Wars show is coming to Disney Plus, everybody. It originally broadcast on Cartoon Network as a string of short episodes ranging from 3 to 12 minutes long, and was only stitched together for longer episodes for the DVD release. So basically what that means is think of like a Clone Wars episode from the CG, like the newer version,
right? And
then like just cut snippets of that out. And that's what this was. But then when you form them together, it makes a like cohesive story.
I don't know. The Clone Wars, the shorts, they were a little weird.
Oh,
they were a little out there.
Once again, like how Ewoks is like this kind of weird alternate universe. This Clone Wars, you're gonna watch it if you've never seen it before and be like, this is very different.
It's a little trippy.
It's a little trippy, especially if you're like a big fan of the CG Clone Wars. You're gonna be like, that's interesting. But I remember when this came out. I remember when the cartoon Clone Wars, popped up and everything, and it's like, oh, it's coming to Cartoon Network and everything. And I was so freaking excited, dude.
Yeah.
I put on like black pants, and we had like soccer kick guards that I tucked the pants into, the shin guards, for us wrestling terms, of course, like you put your pants into your socks, and now you got like those baggy, like, that
are sucked in.
Exactly.
Like right at the calves.
Right at the calves. So I did that. I wore a black, shirt and everything. I don't know how old I was, like maybe 12
The
or
kick
something.
guards are in lieu of having Jedi boots.
Exactly. And I had my lightsaber, and I was ready, and it was like, okay, Clone Wars. This is great. We didn't know what the heck Clone Wars was. You know what I mean? What the heck is it? What happened? And it starts off, and it's like, Clone Wars. Boom. The end.
Next episode.
It was like it was like 5 minutes long. And I remember being a kid just going, like, it was probably the first time I felt extremely disappointed, like in my soul.
Had it come out on April 1st, it would have all made sense.
Exactly. That's what they're going to do to us with these releases. They're going to release them again in those tiny shorts. It's like, oh no,
like, come on.
But seriously,
I remember if they released it all at once. It's like 10 minutes.
I remember being very disappointed that it was so quick. And I don't know have you watched Parks and Rec?
A bit.
Okay, for anybody who has watched Parks and Rec,
skosh.
I know whatever his name, Ben Wyatt or something, Leslie Knope's boyfriend in the series, he goes out of work for a little bit, and so he takes up clay animation, like stop motion animation, just at home, and because he's bored and everyone else is working, and he's going a little crazy. I think he eats like 8 calzones or something like that. Anyway. So he makes this whole thing, and I think it goes over a couple episodes, and then he goes to show people like, hey, this is the stop motion animation I did.
Yeah, that's what I've been working on.
Yeah, I've been working on it. Everybody sits down and watches it, and the title comes up, and then it's just a clay animation of him on a bed, and then he stands up, and then it ends. Because stop motion animation takes forever.
Yeah, it's so long.
But that's how it felt. It felt like, Clone Wars, I can't wait to finally know what's going to happen. And then it's just like, stuff is happening. Oh my gosh. And then it's just over. It's wait another week for another 3 to 12 minute thing.
Right. It's a 3-minute episode. A minute and a half is the opening crawl with the text. And then that's it.
Yeah. Parks and Rec is an awesome show. And I like quoting it every once in a while. And then we also have Cones of Dunshire, which is from Rectangle the Mime. The other one was from Chad. Thank you, Chad. And thank you, Rectangle. That's what I'm going to call you. I know who you are, but you're Rectangle to me. Cones of Dunshire was a game that Wyatt made in the show. So, but yeah, when it comes to this Clone Wars thing, a lot of people love it. And a lot of people are doing this thing where they're saying, so does that mean it's canon? No.
Right.
If you watch these cartoons, they trample right over the same timeline as the CG and Dave Filoni one, and it's very different. So I don't think this is a canon thing. I don't even think the Ewoks thing is a canon thing. I think it's just, here's content, and it's coming to Disney Plus that you can watch.
I'm trying to think of the episode that stuck out to me most, because I watched them, when we were kids, and I could watch something last week and I probably forget. So now by this point, but something I remember is the Anakin going through his trials.
Yes.
That was
how
always,
he gets his scar in that version and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, there's like that kind of like,
spoiler alert, by the way,
like line, you know what I mean? Like
I won't say how he gets lines all over him, but yes, he gets blue
like
lines all over him.
or something.
Yeah. I'm trying to let people who haven't seen it watch it for themselves.
This isn't like the ending, this isn't like the climax, is it?
Never mind, everybody. Have fun knowing everything about this show.
I can't even say one thing about it that came out in like 2003. Like, it's been so long.
So the thing that sticks out to me the most is General Grievous in this version.
Oh yeah,
when he fights all the Jedi.
Yeah.
Just if you're gonna watch anything from this, see that General Grievous part, because they made General Grievous into this amazing character. Yeah. And then just I'll say it, the Dave Filoni Clone Wars, as well as Revenge of the Sith, he's just this like cowering mustache twirling villain.
Yeah.
I see.
For the escape pod.
Exactly. Time to abandon ship.
Always.
That's who he is. But
it's like
in the Clone Wars cartoon, you're gonna watch it and it's gonna be like he's freaking Predator.
Yeah.
You know, like he's a assassin.
Yeah, he was pretty crazy.
There's some brutal stuff that he does in the thing.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It's pretty artsy. That's
pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
pretty cool. That's fun. It's like you're not allowed to spoiler anything from 2003.
You're still salty about this?
No, well, it's just this week I was talking to one of my buddies and he was asking me, we were talking about the movie Psycho.
Oh yeah.
And Hitchcock.
Mhm.
And so he's like, have you seen it? And I'm like, yeah, I've seen parts of it, I think, crazy gas. But he was telling me a little bit about it. And we were on the phone it was him and his girlfriend. I was on speaker.
Mhm.
And like he gets a little bit in. She's like, don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. And I love that. Like, you don't spoil a movie that's been well out for like.
Wasn't that in like the 60s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I've had so long to watch this movie, but I appreciate it. I was like, I appreciate it.
Yeah. Also, most surprisingly, the animated short, The Story of the Faithful Wookiee, which aired as part of the infamous Star Wars Holiday Special and until now has only ever been available on a DVD extra on the Blu-ray for Star Wars. It features the first appearance of Boba Fett, making an important Star Wars historical document, and also The Mandalorian has included some nods to it. The Mandalorian looks just like Boba Fett in this short.
Yeah.
We know
With the rifle.
if you guys don't know this, freaking Jon Favreau is like the biggest fan of the holiday special. There's so many holiday special little nods in The Mandalorian. Like even the monster that grabs the ship in the first episode, the like hippo thing, has the same like dubbed sounds that the monster that Boba Fett is riding in the holiday special has. Makes the same like screeching sound. And it's just like, I think Dave Filoni said it best when he was reading through the scripts, and he was just like, in his way of how he talks, of just like, oh, look, and there's the holiday special again. Like just side eye of like, okay.
Bringing that. I think they also remember with the, the big reveal spoiler coming up, season 2 Mandalorian.
Yeah.
When Luke, he shows up and Grogu, there's that whole moment. Doesn't he tell Mando to give him a smile?
I know. you said that, so come on, Mando, give me a smile.
As he's got the tear, he's giving Grogu.
He's like, Luke is orange with the eyeliner. He takes it off. It might have looked better than the face they did put on him in the Mandalorian. Oh God. Just reskin the face from Luke in the holiday special.
Right.
But a big nod that is in the Mandalorian that's also in that holiday special thing is Din Djarin, who is the Mandalorian, uses like a pitchfork rifle. And that is basically looks just like Boba Fett's rifle.
Yeah.
I will say they definitely made it look more useful.
Which Nerf came out with that.
I know. It's really cool.
It looks dope.
I mean, here's the thing. When I went to Celebration, they had Mando's speeder from that Tatooine episode.
Yeah.
When Logan has bad coffee today.
I'm still drinking it.
But they had the speeder on the floor from that Tatooine episode. I wish maybe they did, and I just didn't see it. I wish they had some of the weapons, because I would have loved to see that pitchfork rifle. No disintegrations. So yeah, the question I do want to ask people is, what are you most excited for? Ewoks or Clone Wars? You can even throw in there that you're excited to see this holiday special thing.
This holiday special thing. I love it.
Chad said, can't forget Jedi Shaggy, which was Shaggy. And that is very true.
Yeah.
One of the Jedi in the old Clone Wars cartoon looks just like Shaggy. And in turn, they named him Shaggy. SHA''Gi, Shaggy.
He's always hungry. He's always finding snacks.
He's got a talking some other creature.
Well, they're bringing him into the High Republic, aren't they?
Finally, make Shaggy canon. But yeah, that's Jonathan was also saying his rifle is from the special too, being the holiday special.
Right.
Thank you guys for being very keen-eyed when it comes to that stuff. I'll go to Jonathan as well, saying Ewoks. My mom loved Ewoks growing up, and I'm excited to experience them with her for the first time. That's great. That's what I think this is for. That's what I think them adding this to Disney Plus is for. Because yeah, you can say like, oh, if it's coming to Disney Plus, it must be canon.
Right.
But I like the idea of grabbing a bunch of content that was there before and putting it on Disney Plus for people to experience it, because when you strip away that it has to be canon now because it's in that, when you
Right.
strip that away, it's like awesome. Put whatever else you can find on Disney Plus, because
Yeah.
it just opens up the full Star Wars library.
Well, they've gotten a lot of heat for that, I think, a little bit from people too. And it's the same with video games, like the video games are still out there. You can still play them. They might not be canon, like The Force Unleashed, but
Right.
it's still content. You know what I mean? It's the same with the movies and the shows. Like no one's saying you can't watch it just because it's not canon.
Well, I think some people might say that. We
That's
just talked
true.
about how negative people are.
There are people out there who I'm sure would say that. We are not saying that.
I've seen people saying they should make this canon. This should be the Clone Wars canon thing. And I will say publicly, if you watch that old Clone Wars thing, it's a little out there. And that's what I kind of like about it.
Which is cool. I like that.
Yeah,
I like the
that.
art style.
And I like not having to hold everything to the distinction of it has to be canon or it doesn't exist.
Right. It's a little experimental,
right?
Too. It's a little weird.
And if you like Samurai Jack, you will love the art style. The art style is something to get used to.
Yeah.
But I love it because I love Samurai Jack. I'm going to go to Bradley saying, I can't wait to see the old Clone Wars. It's so good. It really is so good.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for a lot of people to watch it. Maybe we'll cover it when it comes out
legally
to get what people have to say about this. You know what I mean? To see what hey, we're going to talk about the, old Clone Wars. Here's some stuff we remember. For people in the chat who've seen it for the first time, tell us your thoughts. I would love to see how people are reacting to it for the first time, because it is a little trippy.
Well, there was a while for when anyone would talk about the Clone Wars, the newer one, I thought they were still talking about the old one. You know what I mean? People would reference. I'm like, I don't remember that. I remember it was a little weird. And they're like, no, there's a whole new Clone Wars.
Where the heck have you been?
There's a whole thing.
Let's see. Wookie Talk says, well, both are considered. Well, let's just say I wasn't impressed by either. Shocked, actually. Interesting. I wasn't impressed with Ewoks and also Clone Wars, I believe.
Oh, okay. Or I thought maybe both Clone Wars.
Oh my
or
gosh.
Not. I don't want
Wookie Talks, we're not going to want to put words in your mouth if you want to explain yourself a little bit. Speaking of explaining yourself, Chad said, also, I misspelled Shaggy. It's actually SHA''AGI. So Shaggy. So Chad, what the heck, dude? You made me say it out loud.
Right. We can't say things.
We don't get anything wrong on this show. Come on. But yeah, I either way, like I said, I'm very excited for this to come back, because it was Clone Wars for me before Clone Wars was a thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You got the whole 3 minutes of it.
Oh my gosh. Best 3 minutes of my life.
That's great. Well, I do understand it though. I do understand little animated shorts, but yeah, that when you put it like that, you're all geared up to watch the show, and then you get 3 minutes. That can be a letdown.
Well, what's interesting about it too is
now you can binge it.
What's interesting about it too, it's kind of a weird thing to binge, I'll be honest, because it's basically like a movie when they put it all together.
Right.
But
and who likes watching movies?
I'll be honest, it's very weird how they've done this with Clone Wars. You know what I mean? This Clone Wars was little shorts that you had to kind of follow the story in week by week. And then the CGI Clone Wars jumping all around the timeline.
Oh, yeah.
Why did they do that? I still don't understand why the timeline was so flip-flopped. And now you have to look on Reddit or something to say, watch it in this order, because that's actually how it is.
Yeah.
It's a kid's show. Kids see a character die, and then 2 episodes later, he's 14 for some reason. And it's well, this was 80 years earlier.
Right.
Well, then why is this happening before? I'm exaggerating for sure, but that's what I mean. It's just but why are you making it more complicated? This is for children,
That's
right?
Interesting. I don't know who would pay closer attention. When I watched it when I was younger, or when I watched it now, because it honestly didn't hit me. I watched the Clone Wars, the new one, when I was when I was younger, but it never it never hit me that it was out of order until I started watching it again recently.
Mm-hmm.
And again with, I think it's Padme's uncle, he gets killed off pretty early on.
Yeah.
And then later, there's a couple episodes later where he's back, and I'm like, what?
Right. It makes you feel
I
a little
thought
crazy.
I was wrong. I was like, oh, I probably, because I skip around sometimes. So I'm I was probably just watching an episode from season 5,
right,
and then went back, and then, but yeah.
I just want to say really quick, Chad in chat, he said, "My bad. I'm sorry about getting the name wrong." And Chad,
How dare you?
how dare you? Honestly, no, I forgive you. And also, Rectangle is saying, "Don't let them neg you." And then Bradley is saying Tyler's Jedi name is Tyler Bucky. Tyler Bucky.
Tyler Bucky.
I
like it.
I like it too. I have a Star Wars name for my Star Wars story, which maybe I'll tell people about that. What lives in my head someday. But once again, moving on with the show, I'm a big fan of all this stuff coming to Disney Plus. I can't wait for April 2nd for us to talk about it and reconvene and have fun discussing something. But Logan, would you like to talk about a rumor?
Yes, rumor. Going into rumor territory. I'm sure people. Rumor. How many times can we say rumor?
How many times can we say community?
And rumor.
Rumor community. That's another show. That's another podcast.
That's our new podcast. Rumor community.
It's just like Chatter Squadron.
Nothing holds any weight to it. It's all just hearsay. No, but earlier this week, I believe on Monday, actor Mena Massoud dropping major Ezra Bridger hints with, he posted a picture of himself.
Well, also really quick, who is this actor and what has he played in?
He was I'm sure he's been in a lot of or multiple things, but probably most known for the new Aladdin.
Yeah, the live action one.
Live action. I think it came out in was it 2019 or 2020? I just watched it last night. So for me, it came out last night. No, but I watched it and it was good. And so he posted on his Instagram Monday a picture of himself. And the caption was, "Hey, just so you know, when I escape, I won't hurt any of you," which is a line directly from...
I was going to say, that sounds kind of...
From Clone Wars.
Interesting for something that you should... You know what I mean?
No,
but it's not from Clone Wars. It's from Rebels.
It's from Rebels. And it's obviously a line that Ezra Bridger says to a bunch of the stormtroopers when he's being taken prisoner.
Which is a strange thing. Like, if he just did that on a whim,
right?
Like
if it
accidentally,
wasn't a quote.
Like that's very strange. That's like Mandela effect type thing.
He just posts that and everyone's like, "Oh, he's hinting to Rebels." He's like, "Yeah."
I just did predictive text.
Yeah.
I just started pressing the next word that came up and that was my caption.
It's like, oh, thank God. Wait, you're telling me there's a Rebels quote? Whew.
Right.
No, so that I thought that was cool, and we talked a little bit about it. In last episode we discussed different actors possibly for Thrawn, and this is another one of those things where people toss around, and we want this person to play it, we want this person to play it. Actor Taylor Gray, who has voiced Ezra in the show Rebels, that they drew a little bit of the physical character from him, the actor. Same with Bo-Katan and Katie Sackhoff. So that there is a potential where he could play it. People are kind of throwing around, "Oh, I want this person to play it, I want this person to play it."
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and say that this is like confirmed or anything like, "Oh, this means he's playing it." If it was me, it's a kind of a good ploy to get that rumor started as an actor. It's like, what? I kind of want to play this role. How am I going to get my foot in the door? Like, I'll just do this, let the internet go crazy.
And stir up excitement. That's the thing.
Because then people see it, I'm sure it gets back around. Obviously, he's already worked with Disney. So,
well, that's one of the things too. It's like, it's so kind of random and it's so on the nose that it's kind of, like, how do you say that that's not a hint that he at least knows this is going on,
right,
and wants to feed into it in some way or another? We recently were talking off mic about Ray Park.
Yes.
And he's been posting a lot of stuff, and we haven't really covered that because of how straightforward he is. He's like doing hashtag meet me on Dathomir and showing the Maul horns and all this stuff and showing them flying and getting tested for COVID and all that. Like, it's very on the nose.
Maul getting tested.
Yeah. Yeah. With a double bladed like cotton swab. But that's the thing. He's showing all this stuff, and it's kind of like, that's like super on the nose. That's so on the nose. It's like, do we even need to say that?
Right.
Because I mean, maybe he's coming back, but I guess that's what he's really putting out there. This is so like, it's just a random line from the show.
Yeah.
I've never heard people quote that. That's not like a do or do not type of quote.
Well, I mean, out of context.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you get what I mean?
Hey,
Like,
just so you know, when I escape, I won't hurt any of you.
exactly.
What?
Right. Like, okay, I just find that very interesting. But the question we're asking is, do you think, who do you think should play Ezra? Give us your craziest casting ideas
Crazy.
in the comments. Once again, you can win this art if you comment in craziest casting things. Tell us what you thought. I do want to go back when it comes to the comments. Because Wookiee Talks did give a explanation.
Cool.
We called for it. Here it is. This is talking about both Clone Wars and the Ewoks cartoons. Freudian slip. How they say, however, they have their place in Star Wars history, and because of them, other things have developed better, which I agree with. That's true.
Yeah.
And once again, I think the Ewoks thing, it was super geared towards kids. I watched it. I'm like, this is major kids show. Like,
You said it's like a Care Bears.
it's like, yeah, it's like it's
reskin.
Care Bears. It's kind of, fun and exciting and like whimsical and everything. So I don't expect a lot of people, maybe our age, to sit down and go like, oh, I'm really into this story, because
Right.
it really is like we have a issue going on in this episode. We resolve the issue and we're friends in the end,
Right.
which is very cool, and it's very nice. But I would say, for me personally, I am a little bit more excited for the Clone Wars to come back. I do want to, while people are filling up our comments with who they think should play Ezra Bridger, let's look at some of these names. We got Rectangle saying Tylus Ruckus, which is actually a funny story. So back in the day, I was signing up to do a part in like a play, like this performance, right? And you have a sign-in sheet and everything. And I have like the worst handwriting ever. Both my brothers, Jimmy and Brandon, are left-handed, and left-handers have to write kind of with their hand hooked, because they need to be able to see the letters that they're writing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I write with my hand hooked as well, but as a righty.
Just unnecessary.
But it's natural, and it hurts my wrist and everything. But so that's how I write, right? So I wrote my name. Right. I wrote my name and send it off and everything. And then we get the casting sheets, like who's playing who and like whatever else. And I get it back, and it's like, so-and-so is this, so-and-so is that, so-and-so is that. And then, I was like, as Steve, Tylus Ruckus. And I'm like, I wasn't cast, I like look through the whole thing, and then that's the one that peeks out. It's like Tylus Ruckus. So I go to the person who like took down the sheets and everything, and I was like,
and they're talking to Tylus Ruckus.
And there's a doppelganger of me who just like flicks me off, and I'm like, no, don't steal my life. No, I go to the person and I'm like, hey, I wasn't cast. And they're like, no, you were cast. Look, you're Tylus Ruckus. They didn't know me.
Right.
So they just thought my name was Tylus Ruckus because of my awful handwriting. And now Tylus Ruckus is just like this interesting name that I have in the back of my mind. You know,
such a good. That'd be a good wrestler name.
Tylus Ruckus,
or even just Tyler Ruckus.
I love
Tyler Ruckus.
I love us. I love us, but I love us. We're always looking for, wrestling names or character names or whatever. And for people who watch wrestling and might know Jim Ross, who's one of the best commentators ever.
Yeah.
I sent an email one time, and he read it on his podcast, and he was like, Tyler Bucks. Sounds like a wrestling name. Tyler Bucks. And it just, for me, like all these years of Ty McCobb, Red X, Double Dragon, those were all old wrestling names we came up with. All these things. And it's just like, dude, your name is Tyler Bucks.
Yeah.
Why are you trying to play with that? That's your name.
And that was always the funny thing. You had this like killer wrestling name,
Tyler
Bucks. I did not. And would still try to pull from my, you know what I mean?
Logan Adonis, everybody.
No. It was just Adonis. When I went by Logan, it was just Logan Matthews.
Yeah,
I just did my middle name and through an S on it.
Yeah.
It's a terrible wrestling name. You know what I mean? Like,
let's look at some more Star Wars names. Maybe you can be Logan for Logan, or Logan.
That was it. Logan.
Logan. And then I'll put one more. I'll put one more out there, which is Tyler. I love any Star Wars name can just be a name with an apostrophe. You know what I mean?
That one really got me.
Which one? Okay, yeah. Okay, so the question here is, like we said, who should play Ezra Bridger, and Logan loves Jonathan's, which is Reese Witherspoon.
Well, I love it for that, but I also love it as a Jedi name.
Oh,
or
Jedi
a wrestling
name,
too. Like Reese Witherspoon.
Oh my gosh, we would be.
Woo,
You'd be.
Thank you. That was great.
You would be, caught in like some type of legal issue if you were Reese Witherspoon as a wrestler.
I would do like a Andy Kaufman type of when he was in the wrestling biz.
Here we go. We got Bradley saying Jackie Chan as Ezra. You did say craziest choices. He's one of my idols. So imagine young CGI Chan as Ezra Bridger.
Imagine the stunts we would see.
Right. I mean, there would have to be, shops and canopies for him to fall, off of a roof into the canopy. Right.
Back up.
Bounce right back up. There needs to be scaffolding. A building needs to be worked on.
There's
so
always
Jackie can climb it and fight people on
a ladder bit. He puts someone through the ladder, spins it around,
right.
Then
climbs the ladder. Right. Exactly.
It's always so impressive.
We got Fartley Jensen saying Steven Seagal. That is my pick for Ezra Bridger. Steven Seagal needs to be him. Think of all the splits he'll be doing.
And that's what we need.
That's what I want that's my Ezra Bridger. # my Ezra Bridger is just Steven Seagal.
Always he's like training with the Force, just always in the splits.
I think have you seen Steven Seagal lately?
No.
I think he alone is funding Just for Men to stay in business because his hair is just black. It looks like Creed from The Office when he steals the ink and dyes his hair just like pitch black.
Right.
That is Steven Seagal's hair right now. And same with his beard. It's just like it's like
he's
when
not
you're
fooling anyone.
It's like when you make a character in a video game and you're like, oh, maybe I'll make his hair black. Whoa, way too black.
Whoa.
And then you save it. And it's like, no.
Right.
So it's every time
a little more brown.
It's just like that black that they've made that you like, there's no light in it and everything. It's just like in the
just
absence.
Looks like a shadow.
Exactly. Siren. Benedict Cumberbatch.
There it is.
What if that's it is? He's like, I won't be in the blue chair, but I will have a scarf put on my face and dye my hair black.
And who knows what they'll do, to switch up, where that character, where we will see.
Oh my gosh, we have Chad saying the same thing. Benedict, this just came in. He doesn't need to be painted blue.
It's amazing.
Very good.
But they still might.
Do you? Whoa, they're moving on me. Rahul Koali. Would you like to Google that? Let's see who that is. From Takes Two No Games. Oh my gosh. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I saw that come through.
See, I like this Takes Two No Games. Yes. I like this because this is a real person. He played the cook in
Reese Witherspoon's not a real person.
He played the cook in the newest Haunting, which is Haunting of Bly Manor. The like kind of sequel series to Haunting of Hill House. So
I've seen his name get tossed around for potential as well. I think that's a good choice.
This is a very hard one because Rick threw this in the ring. The Big Show.
Oh, that's
as
amazing. Ezra
Bridger.
He's just doing
put a wig on him. You know what I mean?
Choke slams.
He choke slams everybody now. That's Ezra's whole thing.
Are we putting a wig on Big Show? Or are we putting a wig on who's getting the wig?
Big Show.
Okay.
If he's Ezra, he needs hair.
Maybe.
It's just the Big Show with his goatee and everything, but he just has hair now.
Right.
I would love to see a forced choke slam. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I would like to say we have our king/queen of the Tiny Share of Tiny Victories here. Hey, it's B.
Hey
guys,
house.
Peace. And look, there she is. Right back there too. I wish you guys could see it more, but that's royalty. She's above us.
Yeah.
You just have to look at a distance. So hello.
When we look, we'll have to look up to you.
Yeah, we look up to you for sure. And then I'll say this to end this. Fartley Jensen says, I choose the Bigger Show.
Oh,
that's actually Big Show's biggest rival is Bigger Show.
Right.
But you know what is not a rival of us? I don't know how to make this segue. Are you ready for this? This week in Star Wars history, brought to you by Logan Matthews.
I'll be going by Adonis.
Logan Adonis. See, just change your name, man. It's easy. Just go to the court. Bing, bing, boom.
Didn't someone have a pet dog named Adonis or something?
Yeah.
That's where he pulled it from.
Yeah, my family's pet dog when I was very young was named Adonis, and he died. Thanks for bringing those memories back. Jerk.
This week
hard. Never mind. Back to this week
in Star Wars.
Okay, let's move on to what happened in Star Wars history.
Okie dokie, March 20th, 2009, the last episode of Season 1 of Star Wars The Clone Wars aired in the U.S.
And that's the CG version.
Yes. Hostage Crisis is the name of the episode.
And we just watched a little bit of it, actually.
We did. We clipped through it.
There was a lot of moments where we were like, Padme, just give him the lightsaber right now.
Yeah.
People who might not know, this is when Cad Bane, like, holds a bunch of senators hostage, and Padme just happens to have Anakin's lightsaber. And there's several moments where Anakin's trying to get it, and that she could easily have given it to him, but it's just a comedy of errors.
Yeah, the biggest was just when everyone else leaves the room, she could have just
thrown it to
back
him.
But
anyway, but it's a good
plot devices.
It's a good episode, and it's pretty brutal. A lot of people die. Somebody dies begging for his life.
Yeah, there was a couple clips just from that episode that was in that like super cut.
There's a super cut. There's a super cut of a bunch of brutal deaths from Clone Wars that's, I believe, is just titled "Clone Wars is for Kids."
Yeah,
and then it ends with just saying, "You get the idea."
And there was a couple from that episode. So that was in 2009, March 20th, which I think is today.
Yeah, we got
not in 2009.
Chad saying "Hostage Crisis" is a great episode. Great introduction of Cad Bane. Love it.
Yeah. Ruthless.
So yeah, go ahead and let's move on to the next point.
Well, it's still March 20th. There's
cool.
two for March 20th. In 1998, in England, the last pickup shot was done for the Phantom Menace, and it's when Palpatine meets Anakin at the parade in the end.
And he says, "I'll be watching your career with great interest."
Yeah. And that was that was at Leavesden Film Studios in England.
I believe that's also the scene where they have not real Samuel L. Jackson in the background.
Oh, really?
Who you're like that. I don't think they're even trying with that one.
He didn't want to make the trip to England.
I don't know. If you move on to the next one, maybe I'll try and find a picture of that so you can see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'll cover. cover.
Stage freeze. Don't say stage freeze. Just do it. Okay.
March 21st, 2005, Season 3 of Star Wars The Clone Wars micro-series began airing. The final 5 installments are longer 12-minute chapters that counted down to the moments before Episode 3, including the dramatic capture of Chancellor Palpatine by General Grievous. It's what we just discussed. Season 3 began airing in 2005.
And it was the original, or no, the CG one?
The first one, the weird one.
Oh, the weird. I like
the strange, weird in a good way, because I like it. I enjoy it.
It's alternate universe thing.
Right.
So here I found the picture, and we're gonna bring that up on the screen in about 2 seconds. Here, let me get this off. Let me move over to here. So this is the scene I was talking about where they did the pickup shot, and not Samuel L. Jackson is in the background. There he is, everybody. That's that BAMFer.
They could have done even like put like a hood or something, like his Jedi robe,
or just have him way in the back where you can't even see.
Yeah, because I don't like if Mace Windu wasn't in that shot, I don't think anyone would have been like writing in.
No,
like whoa, where's he at?
It's just he's too in focus back there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. He's just like right there.
He's writing the thirds.
Yeah, I know the audience is drawn to Palpatine's face, and then you have not Samuel L. Jackson right behind him.
That's amazing.
So yeah, I wanted to bring that up because it's always very funny.
So on March 20th in 1998.
Oh, we're moving on.
Happening.
Oh, that was happening. March 1998. Something got mixed up with Sam Jackson's plane tickets.
Right. Well, it's true. There was a lot of which I'll get into.
Oh, okay.
That is not true. The plane ticket. But March 22nd, 1976, principal photography for A New Hope begins on location in Tunisia.
No. So that, I believe, is that when they are in, you might not know this, but I think that's when they're in Luke's homestead and everything, the
Oh.
Skywalker homestead. I believe that was in Tunisia.
Well, a lot of those shots. Yeah.
A lot of the Tatooine stuff. And just, I want to give a shout out to Kenny Baker and Anthony Daniels.
Oh, yeah.
In that sun, baking. I think even Anthony Daniels said some of the plastic started to melt on him a little bit.
Well, there was a lot of stuff, which again, I will kind of get into a bit coming up, but like there was a lot of stuff that went wrong, quote unquote, for that, especially with that. Like Anthony Daniels, I'm pretty sure one of the pieces of his like shin like got broke or something like that, and like he like broke his foot or like hurt his foot or so, you know what I mean? Like there was a bunch of stuff.
Either way, and
then you have Mark Hamill, who's like, I loved it.
I love it.
I had fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at this, he was wearing normal clothes. It looked very breathable. That
hair's like
thing
blowing in the wind.
Right.
Like,
and also a big shout out to Kenny Baker for being R2D2, and most of the stuff that R2D2 is in is R2D2 as himself. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, even
like
in
just
droids.
give a nod to Kenny Baker.
Even in droids.
Yeah, even in droids. I mean,
like he didn't do the voice, okay?
Right.
He wasn't in there doing the beeps. So we have March 23rd, 1976. The on-location shooting in Tunisia for A New Hope is hit with its first winter rainstorm in 50 years. So that's what I mean. There's like people have pulled all the weird things that went on during filming of Star Wars, and a lot of them seemed to happen during the first film, and like that. I know during the Phantom Menace they were hit with a storm that like wrecked a lot of their pod racers.
Oh yeah.
But these next three consecutive headlines are, I guess probably at the time weren't funny, but I'm sure they are. They read funny. So March 24th.
We always turn things a little funny on the show.
1976, Sir Alec Guinness and his wife arrive in Tunisia to begin shooting his series as Obi-Wan Kenobi in A New Hope.
Mm-hmm.
So, you have this big, like, critically acclaimed actor doing
shooting
some
his scenes.
little movie he's never heard of, where he's wearing these weird robes, and he shows up and, like, bam, first rainstorm in 50 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm sure he was very thrilled. And then we have March 25th.
Well, before we move on, that's also where he talks about like not understanding the movie really at all.
Right.
And I believe that's when he calls it, people in the chat can let me know, when he calls it like religious mumbo jumbo or something like that, because Han Solo says it to Rey and Finn in the Falcon in The Force Awakens. What he says about, I used to thought the Force was blank, blank, blank. That's a reference to something that Alec Guinness actually said, because he was just like, this is weird. I don't get it.
Yeah.
But he delivered it perfectly. He's a trained stage and film actor, one of the best in that era. So whatever he was given, I'm sure he could just be like, I don't understand this, but now I'm Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah. And
former Jedi Knight.
It was received really well right away, because March 25th, 1976, Variety magazine reports that Alec Guinness has been cast in Star Wars as a bearded old desert rat who was once a leading general in galactic wars.
I love that, because that has to be a press release. Yeah. Like that has to be the marketing team of this film, because they can't, just assume that. Like, how do you assume that? Like, Alec Guinness is coming to be a part, and it's like, oh, let's just assume he's a bearded desert rat and he used to fight in wars. So somebody had to send that out to them.
Right.
And I don't think they would add that terminology. I think they sent out Alec Guinness is going to be in the movie, and he's going to be playing a bearded desert rat who was a general in wars. And it's like, that's such a weird thing to receive. It's just like, okay, copy, paste, whatever the equivalent of that is in the 70s. I guess
we'll run it. So this is from George. Yep.
If that's from George, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Now, just say he's a bearded old desert rat who was once leading general in galactic war.
That's where the holiday special rat came from, right? In the bar, in the
bar, yeah. Goodbye, rats.
And we just have Alec Guinness in A New Hope. But you're right. Even if they were, caught some leaked set photos, like they would have never known that he was once a leading general in the Galactic War. So that has to be some sort of press release, which is hilarious.
It's a very interesting thing. And you're right. They were hit with like all these little mishaps while all at the same time being just baked alive in the sun when it's not raining.
So he doesn't understand it. He shows up to film, all these problems,
Right.
complications, and then he's like, well, I'll at least read what they're saying about the role. And then
Right.
you are a bearded old desert rat.
Yeah, so you're a bearded old desert rat.
Sure, it made him love it even more.
Let's see. I searched just briefly about Alec Guinness. Thought Star Wars was fairy tale rubbish. And Harrison Ford's first name was Tennyson. I don't know what the heck that means. But yeah, I'm gonna find, because I believe he did say something about it being some type of. Let's see. Okay, so here's what they said. The Obi-Wan actor said, "There's a sort of wonderful freshness about it, like a wonderful fresh air. When I came out of the cinema, I thought London's sort of gritty and dirty and sort of rubbish, isn't it? Because this had all been so invigorating." So that's not the speech I'm looking for.
I was
but
like,
I also don't. That's such a strange thing to say as well. He walks out and immediately hates the city he's in.
Yeah, what an oddly specific quote. It's not even from him.
He comes out. It's from George. So Alex said this. He said everybody in London's a desert rat.
Oh wait, no, he's the desert rat.
He's a desert rat.
There's rats somewhere. There's rats.
Hollywood loves rats. But yeah, so thank you everybody for tuning in. Once again, going back to what we talked about with the whole, thing that's striking the community, especially in real life, and then of course in the Star Wars community. Of course, Stop Asian Hate is huge right now, and it should be, because of how much strife a lot of people in the Asian community are going through. So like I said at the beginning of the show, feel free to share things you enjoy, positive forces in the community. It can even just be somebody you follow on Instagram who always posts funny Star Wars stuff, like whatever it is,
right.
Share it. Do hashtag positive squad. And why doing the hashtag is important is because if that starts growing, people can literally just click on it, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, maybe not YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, those types of things. They can just click on that and see what everybody is saying about these things and be like, oh, let's just use us as an example. Oh, Chatter Squadron. I haven't heard of these guys. It looks interesting. And they'll check it out.
Right.
Because when we take the time to argue with people online, we can be using that time to be buffing up the people that we want to put a spotlight onto.
Yeah, who are doing positive things in the community. And like you said, with using that hashtag, it kind of, obviously that's just how hashtags work. It puts everything into the same place. So you click on that hashtag and bam, flooded with positivity.
Right, exactly. So just here's the reminder. You'll be seeing it on our socials because we're going to be posting about it all the time. Hashtag positive squad. And that's your reminder to do the same. Make one post or go and like people who are making posts doing it. It's going to help the community kind of heal, kind of put a spotlight on people who are doing the work and trying to get positivity out there any way they can.
Trying to bring people together versus dividing.
But yeah, so like I said, thank you guys so much for being here and being a positive force. We love everybody who checks us out, who stays active in the comments, especially, we love to send people art. So be active. We want to help give you guys something to kind of take home and showcase your love for Star Wars as well. So thank you to Acme Archives Direct. Thank you for everybody watching. I'm not going to wrap up the show quite yet because we have to go to the unknown regions. I just want to go to Bradley saying, drawing Star Wars things and playing with a few streamers. One of them is from an Asian descent and a great friend of mine. Hashtag positive squad. Awesome. Even that, if you play games and you want other people to play games with you, hashtag positive squad. Let's all get together. Let's chat. Let's have a good time.
Yeah.
It's so much better because there's still a global pandemic. There's still so much crazy stuff happening in the world. So let's have fun with Star Wars at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Yep.
100%. But speaking of not Star Wars, it's time to go to the unknown regions where we talk about something we've discovered outside the galaxy of Star Wars. Logan, I'm going to actually be passing this to you to talk about something outside the world of Star Wars.
Oh, I just get to choose anything?
Anything you want.
Well, I guess
just remember, this is for people to leave the stream. So whatever you want to say.
Nah, I don't want to pull anything. Well, and we already talked about it briefly, but I did I guess, maybe this isn't the topic, but I did go through and watch WandaVision.
WandaVision.
Like I was instructed.
Yeah.
No,
You still need to watch
wanted
Russian Doll as well, but one step at a time. But yeah,
Right.
WandaVision
Baby
just
steps.
wrapped up.
Baby steps.
So
Baby.
what did you think of WandaVision? Because we talked about it a little bit and then we were like, let's save it.
Yeah, I liked it. And also, spoilers. I'm not going to be like saying spoilers, but I guess just in case anything could be considered a spoiler. But
well, here, I'm gonna put a warning. So just start talking.
I liked it. I think I liked. It's not going to be popular opinion. I like the first 3 episodes the best, and then it started like I didn't dislike it. I liked the show, but I definitely liked when they were doing the the calls to the different eras and all that.
Yeah.
Super cool, super out there, especially for Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like we said
experimental.
before, a little experimental, a little weird, and I love that. Then as they started just explaining everything that we already knew, I was like, all right, but you know what I mean. Again, it's the same thing with Star Wars. I'm not gonna sit there and critique Marvel like I would watch a
Star Wars type of
Tarkovsky
thing.
Or some crazy, you know what I mean? Or like what
Hitchcock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spoilers. So, but even in the Marvel universe and for what it is, because we talked a little bit about that.
Yeah.
What is the target audience for this show?
Mm-hmm.
I think it is a little too story based and slow for like young kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like if someone was gonna take or like put on something Marvel for like a young kid and they wanted like that action and all the the heroes, I don't know if they would jump right to WandaVision because I don't think that's the point of it.
Yeah, and it's secretly dark WandaVision.
Yeah,
there's an underlying eerie feeling, especially in the first episodes. Like what broke character in the first episode is a guy choking to death,
right?
And they have to save him. Like, and it changes.
It's eerie.
It's eerie. Something because it's a city. Something feels a little off. It's kind of the Stranger Things feel.
Well, she was. Oh, I wish I would have remembered what the line. Who the actress from that '70s show was in that episode?
Yeah. Yep.
She was the wife that was her husband who was choking.
The hearts. Yeah.
And she kept saying something. Oh, what was the line? She kept saying it over and over, and it was like
I think she was telling him to stop it.
Yeah, stop it. And it was like you couldn't. It was like kind of joking, but like sad, like done really well.
Yeah.
And there was another line where she was talking about what's going on in the town, and you have Paul Bettany as Vision, and he's actually starting to think about it, and he's like, yeah, stuff is a little weird, and sits down on the couch, and then it just hard cut resets.
Yep.
Right to where, you know what I mean? Little weird stuff like that normally people be like, did my thing just mess up? Did my Disney Plus or something just screw up? So they go back to it. And little stuff like that I love it. No, they didn't explain it. It was just like, whoa, that was weird. And something's going on there.
Exactly.
And that was cool. The neighbor, that was super eerie, way too happy, over the top, kind of a little creepy, and like weird things are happening, like the husband's like cutting through the wall. You know what I mean?
Yeah, with the hedge clippers.
Yeah,
and
just going through, and it's like, that's weird. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know.
People are just drones, basically.
But then
you see them like NPCs in a video game.
They're like walking
glitching
into a wall or glitching. That's a good, So that was very, very, very cool.
Well, I think the biggest thing I can say about WandaVision is, number one, I agree with you. It's kind of that thing where it's like, we don't really have to sit there and critique it and figure out like, oh, it's, they could have done this, they could have done that. It's very nice. I'll be honest again, to be able to just kind of disconnect from it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And be like, we're not covering this.
Right. Yeah.
So it's okay for us to just kind of like watch it. There's no like, oh my gosh, I don't know how I'm going to talk about this or bring it up or whatever. That's really nice for a Disney Plus show to put that stress on you. But what I love about it so much is it was very risky.
Yeah.
Very risky. Like, this is the first Marvel TV show to set up all these other TV shows. This is the standard. Think about The Mandalorian being the standard for Star Wars TV live action.
Right.
So this is the standard, and they went with something experimental.
Yeah.
And it does. I will say this for myself. It doesn't matter how good it was, how it might have failed in some spaces or excelled in whatever. At the end of the day, they did something very, very different.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were very confused in the first episode. barely anything happened. It
Like-
was just a sitcom.
Right.
And then the next one was basically just a sitcom, and it started to devolve slowly from there. But to do like 4 episodes
Yeah.
that are basically just a TV, like, mock TV show,
Right. Right.
as this is what we're starting off with Marvel. That is huge for me. And I just praise that so much, because you could be very honestly a chicken on it and say, we'll do the first episode like it's a TV show, and then we're off to the races with Marvel.
Yeah.
So I feel in my heart, people were fighting.
Right.
No, we have to put this out there in this form.
Right. And I'm glad it did so well,
Oh
because
my gosh, yeah.
I think they could even go riskier
Mhm.
with it. You know what I mean? And I mean that not like keep pushing the envelope, but you know what I mean? Like I think you could have had all of what happened in WandaVision in those first couple episodes.
Yeah.
And then I think you could have probably omitted I think it was like the 4th or 5th episode, where it really is just they're kind of bringing the audience up to speed.
Yeah, this is
because
what's
everyone
going on in the
understood
real
that.
world.
And that's the thing. When you give your audience a little bit of chance to take in something weird or experimental, they'll rise to the occasion.
Mhm.
9 times out of 10, they'll rise to the occasion and they'll understand it. So that's what and sometimes I think not explaining things, you reward your audience
Mhm.
for doing, you know what I mean? So, but I think
For
they can
figuring
go-
it out.
Yeah. Another thing, this is a little off topic a little bit, but just hearing, I mean, it is on topic, but hearing the name Wanda so many times
Yeah.
just made me think of, I don't know if you remember this, I purposely didn't bring it up before the show. The old game, Feeding Frenzy.
Oh my gosh, of
And
course.
your nephew Max would say Feeding Wanzi.
Feeding Wanzi.
And so
Can we play Feeding Wanzi?
and so we came up with this character, Wanzi.
Wanzi.
It was like, just like, hey, I'm Wanzi. You
Hey,
gotta,
it's Wanzi. I'm here to feed.
yeah, come on, you gotta feed me. I'm Wanzi.
I'm Wanzi. I'm in a feeding frenzy. See, this is the stuff we were doing when we were like, well, let's see, Max would have been, so we would have been like 13.
He was so young.
We would have been like 13,
Oh,
him being like, let's play Feeding Wanzi.
yeah,
and
Feeding
it's
Wanzi.
and
Which is a
it's-
game where you're a little fish and then you eat something small and then you grow bigger and then you
Bigger,
eat a bigger
bigger.
fish and then you eat a very fun game.
Yeah, and Wanzi is actually a really good guy.
Wanzi's a great guy. He
Yeah.
just wants to be fed.
Great-
Hey, I'm Wanzi.
Great garlic bread he makes.
Oh,
Hey, I'm Wanzi here.
I'm Wanzi. Feed me here.
Feed me, I'm in a frenzy. But
So,
yes,
whenever I heard
Feeding Wanzi.
the name Wanda over and over, I just kept thinking Wanzi. So it's like
Wanzi vision.
yeah, it's like these really intense moments, like Wanda, who's doing it? And I just hear Wanzi. Stay in it, Logan. Stay in it.
But yeah, did you kind of like the finale?
Yeah.
Let's not get into too much specifics, but how they did kind of wrap it together.
Yeah.
Because I'll say for myself, I did really like it.
That's where they brought it back right back home for me
Mhm.
too.
Exactly, because they wrapped up something that was very hard to wrap up, and basically, why is this going on,
Yep.
and what's the reality here?
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest things, that you watch something like that and you hope that either they explain it or they leave it mysterious in a good way.
Yeah.
Some movies, some shows do that, where it's like mysterious and it's this thing, and then they never really leave you with something that wants you to wonder more.
I think Rebels did a good job.
Or
of that.
leave you with something that tells you this is what's been going on in a good way,
Yeah.
not just a character standing there saying, so what was happening the whole time.
Right.
They wrapped it up in showing and not telling. And
Yeah.
that was huge.
Yeah, it brought it back to like real time of things happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It still wasn't this just like telling what's going on.
And did you
beginning.
watch all the way through the credits?
I did.
Okay, good.
I
good,
did.
good.
And I started doing that. I don't know if it's everyone, but my Disney Plus isn't like, doesn't want to do the autoplay thing
Oh,
once
yeah.
like an episode's over. So I ended up just watching the credits for every episode.
Just in case.
Yeah. And there was like, I think it was the end one where, because I watched them for a couple, I was like, all right, they're not giving us anything. So then I stopped watching them. And then the last one, I was like, I'm going to watch. And
All the
I
way
was-
to the end. Yeah,
right.
you gotta kind of. So kind of
have
wrapping this up. WandaVision is great, to be honest. It's great that they chose to do something different like that.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to also say huge props to everybody who made that, especially the people who did the visuals,
Yeah.
the visual effects. Holy crap! Just talking about the comments, the credits.
Yeah.
And that scene where you have like all the TV colors, like it looks like you jumped into a TV.
Yep.
And it has, all the colors kind of swirling together, making houses, making stuff. Imagine how long that took, making all those floating objects that all move and form into different things and everything.
Yeah.
That alone, plus the Hollywood level effects for just everything, for the magic, for vision, for it didn't feel like a TV show when it came to the visuals.
Using other actors from different, that was
different
cool.
universes.
Like I said, I don't want to get too spoily with
Right.
it if people haven't seen it, but the way that they used that too and still brought it in,
Right.
but then didn't, and then did, you know what I mean? It was well done. Well done.
But yeah, so big props to the people from WandaVision. Like that, it was just enjoyable, in my opinion, and a little bit exciting because I watched it every week.
Right.
And it was just like, ooh.
It felt like there was stakes.
Yes.
Sometimes in Marvel, which is okay. I feel like there's not a lot of stakes sometimes. It's like you could, like there was definitely Marvel movies I think I haven't seen.
Yeah.
But you don't really ever feel like you're left behind. You just catch the next one.
But that's a great point. Stakes is kind of a thing that some Marvel movies don't have.
Yeah.
And
this did though.
This
really
did. This did for sure. And then something else that had stakes was both ending Avengers movies with Avengers whatever, and then Avengers Endgame,
Infinity War Part
Infinity 1. War, and then Endgame. Those were high stakes.
Yeah.
People were being killed off, all this stuff, and then half the population gets wiped out. And it's really interesting to see them following that in this show. Do you get what I mean? That it's that important. The world changed, and it's like you were talking about stakes and consequences. It's not, oh, that happened. Now everybody's back, moving on. It's like, you don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to be caught up to speed. You're one of the people that came back. Like
Right.
It's very much like you stay over there.
Right.
We've been dealing with the world on our side. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You've been out of it for how many years?
Exactly.
Well, and going from that perspective too, that opening for one of the episodes where you're in the perspective of the office, the woman who came back, you know what I mean?
Yep.
In the hospital scene.
Yep.
I'm terrible with Star Wars names. I'm even worse with Marvel names. But you know what I mean?
Forget what her name.
Yeah, no, I don't know. And that's okay. But she, coming back, and it's like, oh, okay, that's cool to kind of get that perspective of how weird that would be. You know what I mean? To just like suddenly be back and everything, but you're not back. Things have changed. Like that's very like disorienting.
The scene where she comes back and is in the hospital and everybody's going crazy in the hospital. Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. Because that's what's happening. It's like everybody's reappearing and people are going crazy because it's like, what the heck is going on now? Yeah. I don't know. I loved how they did that. And then one of the last things I will say with Bradley, he's saying, I want a Jimmy Woo series. Yeah. The actor who was like the FBI agent, who is also Asian Jim in the Office. Yeah. He's got such a fan base now. I don't know if you've seen on TikTok. It's like a TikTok thing that they're doing where they find old clips of him and like, they're just watching whatever show this is. Like, I think he was in iCarly as a teacher as well. Like just watching this and then Jimmy Woo. Oh, like it's a huge thing. And I love the idea of him. And then whoever that girl is, the tech girl. Why can't I remember her name with the glasses?
Kat Dennings is the actress, but I don't know the character.
But them doing like an X-Files show together.
Right.
Imagine
like a Marvel style, in
Marvel style X-Files.
I've heard
show. Would that not be incredible?
And you go back, like they're stuck in iCarly, or you go back through all the real
Darcy. Siren said Darcy.
Yes.
And then Brenton says Logan is Ezra. You could be Ezra.
Well, who else was I last week?
You were Ensign Vanto.
Eli.
No, you're Ensign Vanto. No, his name is Eli Vanto, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We just start
now we fight.
We just start fighting like for real.
Yeah. It's Eli, not Ensign. I think it is Ensign Eli. That'd be amazing. Thank you, Brenton.
Thank you, Brenton. But yeah, so okay, thank you, Jonathan, as well.
I will be auditioning.
Darcy is the tech. Monica Rambeau is the girl who came back in the hospital. And she is the daughter of Captain Marvel's friend from the Captain Marvel movie. So she's the little...
Are you doing a bit?
No. Have you seen Captain Marvel?
Can never tell. I've seen some part of it.
Okay.
I don't know if I've seen the full thing of Captain
Her
Marvel.
friend is a pilot. They were both pilots together. Her friend has a daughter.
Okay.
That movie takes place years ago.
Okay.
And then this is the daughter all grown up.
Right.
Anyway,
right.
So
Tyler's just bringing me up to speed.
we're
on the
gonna
whole
see
Marvel.
a lot of Monica for sure. Her
Sweet.
powers and everything, you know.
They lightly touched on that in this a bit,
which I also enjoyed.
Yeah.
I enjoyed them not explaining what power she has yet, because it makes you go, whenever she does come back, it's like, oh yeah,
right.
I wonder what her powers are. Like, I wonder what her whole deal is. It makes interesting. It makes you interested.
Yeah.
Like we talked about, we don't like having spoon-fed type of stuff, and they really didn't do that in Wanda.
Well, you leave the hype. You know, you let if you explain everything, it's like, okay, you know, you run the risk of people not being like informed, you know. But if you don't explain it, I feel like you get so much more. You get then people start throwing around what they think, and this could be it, and that could be, you know, there's a lot more buzz around mystery.
And it's not a mystery that we will be back next week at 1 p.m. Eastern Saturday. Once again, like I talked about, guys, please, this is your reminder. Once this stream ends, go check out any social media. Think of somebody to share. #PositiveSquad. We're going to get on it right away. So that's also a reminder for you to start sharing it around on your socials. Even the little bit helps.
Yeah.
Even telling one friend, like tagging a friend in a post saying, hey, check out Chatter Squadron. Hey, check out Blue Bantha Milk. Hey, check out Jam Transmissions or Star Wars Culture. #Positive Squad.
Right.
Just tag a friend and get people watching good content and spending their time enjoying Star Wars. Again, if you want to help support us, you can check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/Chatter Squadron. You can get over there, rise the ranks. We have benefits. Like right after this, we are going to do a post show. And if you're a captain or commodore, you can listen to the post show. It is uncensored. It is uncut. It is very just straightforward, us kind of talking about life or what we just talked about in the show.
You get our notes.
You get our notes at a certain level, and also you get in our Discord at any level. So thank you guys so much. And our link tree is here in the chats if you want to check us out everywhere. And remember, #PositiveSquad. Logan, do you want to say anything else as we wrap up here?
I don't know. Yeah, that's good. #PositiveSquad. Spread it around. There are people that are working very hard in the community to keep positive content coming. So the more you can support that and spread it around, the better.
Yeah. Logan,
no huddies this time.
No huddies. This is serious. Logan, I support you.
Thank you.
And I want to spread you around.
Okay.